Siraj just needs. Yeah, no, that's fine.
I'm just saying to you this verse.
Are you here every week though?
Huh?
Are you here every week?
Kind of, like not all the weeks, but
Okay.
anyway.
Because I'm just saying, if he keeps on time, we can continue next week. Because we were having a pleasant conversation until he came.
Anyway, like I'm saying to you, the verse before talks about the Jew and after talks about the Jewish, yeah?
Right.
So there will be doubt in their heart regarding Jesus until the end of the days to the Jewish.
Right, so this is the English. So it says, and because of their saying...
We slew the Messiah. Are you saying we slew the Messiah?
No, but look, so it says...
Jesus says they slew him, but he appeared...
Yeah, so it says, those who disagree, so then those seems to be a generalization in terms of the crucifixion, are in doubt.
Therefore, and this but it appeared to them, those who disagree concerning it.
So who are those who disagree? Is it still saying the Jews or anyone who disagrees? Because that's why I'm saying that us Christians, we are not in disagreement about what happens, but it seems to broaden the context.
But the verse, if you see here, breaking the covenant, we're talking about the Jewish.
Yeah, so I can agree with that.
But I'm saying, when it says
to those who disagree,
when it says to those who disagree,
is it talking about the Jews? So you're saying,
the Jews who disagree regarding this matter, regarding Jesus and Mary, are in doubt regarding it. Why? I can give you different things. It's because the temple has been destroyed since Jesus has been, went to heaven. There's different things that show them that actually Jesus wants someone specific. Yeah, do you agree with that?
Well, I can say maybe the Jews, but what the main thing is, it's the Christians, and that's why I said to you, the central belief of the Christians is what happened on that day, the day of crucifixion.
Yeah, but you were saying that this verse was concerning the Christian, and now you know that it's for the Jews.
Well, I can go over it, but I disagree because it says for those in doubt. Yeah, there is not one of the people of Scripture, but will believe in him before his death, and on the day of resurrection, he will be a witness against them.
Because of the wrongdoings of the Jew, who forbade them good things.
So that's the punishment for the Jews.
Okay, exactly.
But then it's saying those who are in doubt are in conjecture. But that's what I'm saying. The Christians.
Yes.
That's why I said the central belief of Christianity is a death and resurrection. Then can we find the text to be reliable or not? Because that's why when I was saying, here's that original guy's claim was the Bible came 100 years later. So I started off by reading Luke by saying he has himself claimed he has done a thorough investigation, including eyewitnesses. So I'm saying then why would we have any reason to believe anything other?
Okay. Let's imagine that for some reason, let's go along with the interpretation. Yeah, let's go along with the interpretation. Then imagine that Jesus say, God, I don't believe even Jesus say, God, what have you abandoned me? You do believe he's on the Gospels, yeah?
Yeah, my God,
let's say God saved him, yeah?
Yeah.
And let's say, do you think would you accept that God would keep the vision of the crucifixion and would, let's say for argument's sake, I'm not even saying this is the case, Jesus will be like not visible to his enemies or even to the disciples and just go away from that particular place.
Now,
would it be possible just for you as a miracle?
That God should appear to his enemies?
No, I'm saying hide him from his enemies.
Yeah.
So at that moment, his enemy thought that they crucified him, but let's say Jesus praying God for help.
Yeah.
That God
could have rescued him.
Exactly, in
no
a way.
problem. But here's the problem of that. That means for 700 years, because the Quran is very clear about those who believe in Jesus and pray to him and whatnot. They are almost like polytheists. So the problem is, for 700 years, there is no account from any of the Christians saying, actually, no, because even his mother was deceived, because for 700 years, no one knew that Jesus wasn't crucified. So Allah could have told the disciples, actually, hey, this is what I'm going to do. You lot know, now tell everyone now. So it appeared to the enemies, but we actually saved him. But I'm saying even the apostles who historically died for that belief were deceived. Even his own mother, on historical evidence, was deceived. So now I'm saying to you, because you're saying to me, was it possible? I'm saying, yes, it could have been possible.
Okay.
However, It
For
seems
you, these 700 years, people would think and be completely devoted to that cause
Exactly.
just for the crucifixion.
Yes.
And here comes my answer for you.
Right.
guys. My answer is the crucifixion has been, and you may have maybe to digest what I'm going to say, but the crucifixion has been, how can I say, maybe over...
embellished.
No, embellished in terms of faith.
Yes.
Why? Because
Overemphasized.
Emphasized because there's lots of things in the certain things
Right.
that are not necessarily, how can I say?
But wouldn't it have been? Wouldn't it
to believe in or not?
Wouldn't it
I'll
have
tell
been?
you.
Wouldn't it have been good for Allah to at least reveal this, what happened to at least some of the people during the time? Because you asked me a hypothetical question, could Allah have saved him? So I'm asking you the same hypothetical. Wouldn't it have been better, or would you have at least thought Allah would have revealed to some people what was going to happen?
Yeah, but this is the case. For me, what makes it show me that this is the truth is, if that's the case, that's for me, and sorry for saying that, this is a minor subject. The crucifixion, except for Paul, and this is because you're Paul disciples, this is a major subject. And I swear, I read the Gospels, I read the Gospels, I read the book of Acts, I read what Paul was teaching. Paul has one thing to say, but I swear, even if the earth has to be split, that everything has to explode, nothing will change. There's still two speech. Jesus and the disciple, and you have Paul in the other sense. When somebody comes to ask Jesus about salvation, he said to believe on me and the one who sent me.
Yeah, but that's irrelevant. What Paul we're talking about the earliest account. So you're talking about theological aspects, but that's taken away from the origin of Christianity.
But your only base for you to say why did Allah did not inform people during these 700 years about the crucifixion, because people been sacrificing their own life for this. I'm saying no, they sacrificed their own life for God and for who they do believe being God and God, nothing else, not the crucifixion. And he doesn't, and I'm sure you agree on that. Secondly, the only reason why you're saying this is because of the theological reason proposed by Paul. Paul said, sin, the sin of the humanity cannot be forgiven unless there is a sacrifice. And Jesus sacrificed on the cross, and that's it. The law's wall was your teacher, how to say? Yeah, he was your teacher, but since Jesus came, you're not under the law anymore. This is Galatians chapter 3. This is the exact reason why you're saying this claim. It's like, for example, making a big of a deal about the stone lady in Book of John.
Right.
Why didn't we know that this was wrong? Because we believed it during years and years. Why didn't the prophets remove from the Old Testament that Suleiman was a polytheist? Even though the Jewish in the Talmud, they say Suleiman has never been polytheist.
Yeah, but what's this got to do with the reliability?
I'm giving you some examples so you understand my view. I'm saying to you, this is minor. You believe this is major because of Paul.
What do you think is minor?
The crucifixion.
Why?
Because Jesus, peace be upon him, when he said on the Gospels, somebody came and said, how do I get salvation? He said, believe on me and the one who sent me. He said, are you practicing the law? Yes, I practice the law. And you're missing something. Give half of your wealth. He did. The mercy has been put on yourself. Verily I told you, Matthew chapter 5 verses 12. I did not come to abolish the law, but to accomplish it.
But you're missing out other things, because Jesus said that they would destroy this temple and it will be rebuilt within 3 days, alluding to the very same crucifixion which we say is the basis of the faith. So you can't pick and choose statements that Jesus said. So that's what I'm saying.
I'm not even going to the historical claim that are made in the Gospels.
Right.
I'm saying to you,
Right.
the most important is not necessarily for you focusing on this Gospel. It's for you to focus on the crucifixion.
Right.
Why? Because I'm saying to you, the salvation is bought by something else than the crucifixion. And Jesus, peace be upon him, said it to the Jewish. He said, if you practice the law and you keep it, you'll be called to the greatest kingdom. And this is the truth. Paul called to something different.
Yeah, but Paul is irrelevant. We don't need to go to Paul.
He's relevant.
We can stick to the Gospels. That's what I'm saying. In terms of the Christianity development, yes, he's important. But again, we're talking about without the death and resurrection, even Paul claimed there is no Christianity. So that was even the early disciples' belief. For example, James, the brother of Jesus, did not follow Christ as the Messiah until after the resurrection, and a belief that he was killed for, as stated in Josephus.
Okay.
So that's why I'm saying we don't even need to go to Paul. That's why the death and resurrection of Christ was central. For example, in the book of Acts, Stephen was stoned to death by preaching the gospel of who Jesus was. That was before Paul was around. Paul even says he was around at that time, but Paul was irrelevant. So that's what I'm saying. That's why you're saying it's irrelevant. But a Christian should be the one to tell you what is central.
But you have then to make the difference. You have just to understand where do you bring the crucifixion from in your belief. Now, where do you see it's important?
Where? Because as you stated, the atonement for sin, there was a purpose for the crucifixion. Now, imagine this.
Who said that?
Now, here's the problem. The Quran, you would agree the Quran contradicts that. It contradicts that there was a crucifixion. So therefore, it's binary. One claim is true and one claim is false.
Okay.
We're going to have to then work out which one is true and which one is false. But let's agree that there is a contradiction between the two claims. Would you agree?
Again, like I said to you, you said this is possible. You assume that this was possible, and I say it again. I said to you, you accept the fact that maybe Jesus praying God for help.
No, but I'm saying that to entertain your idea. I don't believe it is true. Just like I could say it's possible that we were made by aliens. We could all be wrong, but that's what I'm saying. Doesn't mean I actually believe we are made by aliens.
I got it. But I'm saying to you, this in that way may be coincide because let's say, assuming, talking about that claim, saying that they had the impression seeing someone being crucified.
Right.
Okay, or seeing Jesus being crucified. And let's say...
But would you agree that the claims of the Quran and the Bible contradict each other regarding the crucifixion?
Regarding the crucifixion?
Yes.
Are you saying that is a claim from you?
Would you agree with that? I'm making that claim. They contradict each other. One says it happened, the other one said it didn't happen. The Quran says it didn't happen. Are you under the belief that the crucifixion happened?
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The belief of the community is that Jesus, peace be upon him, hasn't been crucified, but he was...
no problem. So that contradicts the claim of the Bible, yes?
Yes, the community...
Right.
Yeah.
No problem. So now what I'm trying to say is, because you're then trying to say, how do we authenticate the Bible? You're talking about Paul, no problem. So I would say, even for the sake of consistency, because you're saying things can be deceived. If Muhammad, I'm going to go to Angel Jibril, because that's who Muhammad got the revelation from.
Yeah.
So then the question would be, how would you verify that Angel Jibril that gave the revelation was even from God? Because now we know the messages contradict. A jinn can give a message that contradicts something from God. Why? To send people to hell. Now that is the crux of our discussion, because now you have to then, rather than say, how do I know the Bible is true? We've established they both agree with each other. You are aware the Bible claims that the only way to salvation is through the belief in Jesus Christ, which came through the death and the resurrection. Now you have a so-called jinn, an angel that visited to Muhammad Who verified that this was from God? Where is the book that claims it was from God? Because all you're doing is appealing to the Bible, saying this was revealed by Jibril, therefore it must be from God. But if that message now contradicts, it means that if the Bible is true, that Jesus is the only way to salvation, and an angel claims something different, that is why there's a disagreement.
Mate, there's a big oversimplification. Exactly like
yes.
You say, I know the way you're taking it, because
right.
I think that's very simple, and I've been debating for too long to receive this kind of arguments. But anyway, that's you want to do it for people's sake.
I'll let you respond.
No problem.
But the only reason why I'm throwing this claim at you is because this discussion is dependent on verification and belief and understanding of if something is verifiable.
Yeah, listen, again, like I said to you,
right.
The Quran doesn't say that there was no crucifixion at all.
I didn't say that. I claim that Jesus was crucified.
Okay. Crucified, that's the opinion of the community, of the Ummah. I said that to you. But like I said to you,
right.
in the way we saw it, that he has been protected, yeah? So the appearance has
right.
been given to his enemy or to the people,
right.
but he's been saved.
But what does that mean?
What does that mean? That everyone has this vision of crucifixion.
Right, so even his mother.
Doesn't matter. People had this,
okay.
But he was saved. So I would not be bothered at all to hear that some pagans witnessed of a crucifixion, that some historian back in the day witnessed of a crucifixion.
And his disciples.
Huh?
And the disciples. Or his mother was at the crucifixion.
Whatever. I'm saying this is not the case.
Based on what? Is what I'm saying.
But the thing is, you're bringing you're saying with your book, you're saying right. This is what has been witnessed by some people.
And you're saying this is what has been claimed by someone 700 years later. Why should you're saying my claim of it being on eyewitnesses is not very strong, but your claim that it was written 700 years later should be taken more serious?
No.
Okay,
my claim would come differently.
Okay.
If I want to speak about the Quran in its veracity, that's something different. I do believe in the Quran because I read it, and I do believe this is the word of God.
Yeah, but
I fully have faith on it. It's the same. Don't fool me saying I open the Gospels and it's true. This is like there's all the proof that this is from God.
Right. But again,
I won't believe you.
But this is the thing.
Listen, you put faith on your book, and I have faith on my book.
I put faith on the claim and whether it's verifiable. Now, for example,
how do you know?
What's the difference between someone who tells the truth and someone who lies? What's the difference?
You're bringing the subject to another direction. You're deflecting.
Because the claim is, and I'll simplify it for you. Someone who tells the truth, they have things that are able to be substantiated. Someone who lies, if I said to you, oh, I was in Africa yesterday. Okay, do you have a plane ticket? No. Do you have any pictures from there? No.
Okay.
So everything that could substantiate my claim is not there. Someone who it did happen, they may, oh yeah, I still got half of my ticket. So I'm saying, when the gospel writers make a claim, for example, about even the crucifixion, we have external sources from the Bible that confirm that there was a crucifixion. But let me just finish. Now, you said the belief is that something else could have happened in terms of the crucifixion of Jesus. I'm saying to you, can you provide any evidence from close to that time that substantiates your viewpoint? You say no. So my question would be, why would I then accept that as reliable? Because I would believe that anything from God should be verifiable. Yes, some things are lost to history. We won't always have every single document. But as a detective, as you build up the casework, you look, for example, if I make a claim that you murdered someone, a detective will come, they will investigate what are the crumbs of evidence that we have to build a total narrative.
Fair enough.
You haven't given me any crumbs, is what I'm saying.
No. Exactly like you said, when something is lost in history,
Yes.
you can't do the backup. The
Right.
same you're claiming that the apostles are claiming Jesus is God. There was other disciples and there were other groups of Christians.
That's not my claim. I said about the crucifixion.
I know, I'm giving you examples to show you that actually your claim doesn't make sense. Because something which is lost in history, you cannot always go back and prove it.
Yes.
Some things are part of the truth.
Right.
For example, can you prove me that actually the sea has been split in two by Moses? You can't.
Yeah.
It's just by faith.
Right.
Somebody can come up and say the exact same things to you and tell you come back up.
But exactly, this is what my point. So I'm saying, so my claim is, if you have breadcrumbs, you cannot build the cake. But what you say, if you analyze the breadcrumbs, you can say this is what type of cake or bread it was from. You haven't given me any breadcrumbs. So in terms of for example, yes, there's no evidence of the Red Sea splitting.
But that's a claim.
But we're talking about the crucifixion of Christ. So I'm saying there are different various crumbs of evidence that we can say point towards, yes, let's put this breadcrumb under the microscope. I can tell you this is what cake it came from. I do not still have the cake. You cannot even provide me a breadcrumb to say this is what type of cake it could have come from. But you want your evidence to be more reliable than the ones where there are small breadcrumbs.
Okay.
So I'm saying you don't have to have every single evidence because we don't have the cake anymore. But we can see little fragments of what was left.
Can you do the same for Moses who split the sea?
No. But I'm saying with the story of Christ and a lot of the stories from the Bible, we can build up historical evidence. So we cannot build the whole cake. So if we can't find Moses, we can find stuff about the crucifixion. We can find stuff about King David. We can find stuff about the Israelite empire splitting into two. We can find many breadcrumbs that support the narrative. What I'm saying to you, for example, your Quran. Let me give you one big thing for you to contend. You say that prophets were sent before Muhammad. You also made the claim that the Bible can't be from God, but by the way, you said that a book from God should be revealed in a certain...
say that. You have to understand what I said. You don't misspell me.
Okay, no problem. If I'm misquoting you,
don't misquote me.
That's fine, no problem. But essentially what I was trying to say is, if the Quran claims that there were prophets sent to other nations in their own languages, we should at least find a breadcrumb of one book. The only books we find are the Jewish books which claim to be from God and preserved. So if Allah is telling us the truth, how come we can go to France, we can go to Morocco? If I ask them, what was the prophet that was sent in your language? Does anyone have a book? Not one person in this entire earth.
That's interesting. So you do believe that there was no prophet sent to the nations?
I'm saying, where's the evidence?
Okay.
Because I don't believe that. The Bible, I believe the claims of the Bible that the prophets were only sent to the Israelites.
Okay.
So we have the Israelites who have the books from the prophets that they claim to have existed. Yes. So I'm saying to you, if we disagree with that, let's go by the evidence. Because that's why I said, what's the difference between a liar and someone who's telling the truth? And it's based on...
So you do believe that there was no prophet sent to all than the Israelites, yeah?
Yes.
Okay,
apart in the Old Testament, you had, for example, Jonah and whatnot, but not...
Jonas.
Yeah,
what about Jonas?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. In terms of the Bible, you had exceptional stuff, but not to every single nation across the world.
Okay.
As in with the claim of the Bible, is the Quran. So that's what I'm saying. If we...
So do you believe that... Okay, obviously you believe what was purely written in the Bible, but the Jewish in that tradition, or even on the Talmud, the oral tradition of the Talmud, they say that the older nations can have prophets as well.
They can have prophets.
They can have prophets.
Do you believe the Talmud is inspired?
The Talmud is part of the revelation, not everything, because there's a transmission. There's obviously some writing which has been added into it, but the understanding that they have of the Torah and some of the information that they have has been transmitted from Moses. The proof I can give you from the Gospels, in the book of Matthew chapter 23, Jesus, peace be upon him, said, the Pharisees, not the Sadduceans, because Sadduceans, they had the Torah, the Tanakh. The Pharisees are sitting on the chair of Moses.
Right.
So be careful to listen to everything they say and to follow everything they tell you to do. Okay. By the way, no Christian are doing this.
And it also says that they tie a knot around people's neck, that they will be in the same hellfire as the Pharisees. So there's more context to that, is all I'm saying.
Yeah, hold on. Yeah. But you can't take this verse. Otherwise, you're just nullifying the verse. Or the verse means this. Or otherwise, something,
Yes,
there's a lie somewhere.
The verse is saying at the time they were the authority.
No, it's not at the authority. They had the transmission.
It doesn't talk about oral transmission. Saying they sit on Moses' seat doesn't mean they had an oral tradition. It means they have the authority because they sat within the highest echelons of Judaism in terms of dishing out rulings. So let's get back to the point. All I'm trying to say is, you made a claim about how something should be revealed, I'm making the claim that if something is from God, it should have veracity in terms of verifiable claims. So, for example, that's why I say with the crucifixion, we can go outside of the Bible.
Okay. Listen, you're talking about different things.
Okay, let me ask you a simple question, and I'll let you respond, and I won't interject.
No problem.
Do you believe that if God makes a claim, that we should be able to verify most of these claims?
Okay.
Do you agree? Or do you think, for example, God can make loads of statements and we can't find any evidence that supports it, and we'll still believe it's from God?
Well, obviously, obviously, when you're saying this, you're claiming that there's things that we cannot verify. We're talking about the.
No, but I'm just asking, do you agree or disagree with my statement?
Having a lack of transmission and a lack of communication regarding certain claim is not because you have a few transmission or almost no transmission or nothing or no. How can I say? No material that it means that the claim is wrong. Now we have this.
No, I'm saying, do you believe that there should be at least a certain level? I'm not saying, because as I said, history, things can be lost to history, but I'm saying,
no problem.
Do you think some of the claims should be verifiable?
Okay, cool. You claiming?
No, but I'm saying, do you agree or disagree with that statement?
I do believe. I do believe that we can see the signs of the claims.
So we should be able to investigate the claims.
No, we should be able to see something. So maybe you have something. You were talking about the nations, yeah?
Yes.
You're saying that they don't have any prophets.
Yes.
Why do you believe so?
Because we don't have any evidence to support it. Okay. One, the claim from the Bible is that the prophets were primarily sent to the nation of Israel.
Okay.
And two, if there's anything to contradict that claim, obviously I mentioned Jonah.
Who says that he would be only the son of Israel?
Well, the sign of Israel being favoured, that was said to Abraham, was that the prophethood would be given to Israel, which is Jacob.
But yes. But the covenant, it doesn't mean that other people...
the sign of the covenant was the prophethood. Huh? The sign of the covenant was prophethood.
No, prophethood would be given is in descent. It doesn't mean that they cannot go... other people won't have any prophets.
Yeah, but so let's go with that claim. If other people can, I'm saying give us the evidence that other people have.
Okay. So before Abraham, okay, that's fine, okay.
That's all I'm saying, because if something is to contradict that claim, we then should have evidence to support it. The Quran claims that all the nations were sent, or most of the nations were sent prophets in their own language. If I go to France, Morocco, Ethiopia, China, and ask them, there's not one...
But that's not the understanding. You're taking the understanding that suits you to attack the Quran.
No, but
that's what you're doing.
When we spoke before, you said, and I quote, or maybe, hopefully not misquote, but you said, even if there's oral transmission, people generally write down the revelation, because the revelation is not written.
Yeah, but this wasn't the case until, let's say, when scriptures has been developed,
right?
These last 2 centuries, I'm saying most of the people did not have much way of writings. I'll give you an example. In America, the people in America, these people believe in the Great Spirit, the creator of everything, that guides people to the right path. Who do you believe they received as a knowledge? Who informed them of this?
Well, we would say you can see like inscriptions that they have. or they may not have a central book because some of them is not a religious doctrine.
No,
it's a belief.
It can be a teaching. It can be not necessarily a book.
Right.
It can be just a teaching
Yeah.
from their prophets.
For example, in India, they have their Bhagavad-gita, or however you say it. So these are all things that people have written down. We have Buddhism. You got Buddhism, but it doesn't mean that necessarily all the nation would have scriptures. I'm saying the nations received prophets. Yes.
And they have guidance. So I'm giving you, for example, an example. North America, the Native American, they claim, they believe about the Great Spirit, one creator that guides in the right path. Where do you believe they got this?
We can say that was passed down, but remember, you're not dealing with my claim though, because I'm saying give me one out of every single nation. Because remember, I'm not asking for absolutes, so I can say, as part of my argumentation, yes, there will be some nations that may not even have a physical book, but not to have one out of every single nation. I do not find that believable, because we have the Bhagavad-gitas, we have other things, people writing or documenting their nation. So I'm saying, even to make it simple, give me one nation that makes a claim that there was a prophet that spoke monotheism that was sent to them. Don't even give me a book. Give me the name of the prophet that took monotheism.
No, I think it's the same as claiming, prove me that Moses split the sea.
No. I'll tell you why. That's because you said the ancient the American Indians. But let me make my point. You said, and I'll let you respond, and I won't interrupt. You said the American Indians believe in spirituality. You said, where did that come from? So you're trying to make me confirm that yes, it would have come from an oral tradition. So I'm saying, where is the oral tradition, even of a prophet, using your same criteria? Okay.
What actually I'm saying is the monotheism. Do you believe that the whole earth has been flooded? Do you believe so?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Right.
So at some point there was like only monotheist, yeah? Okay, it doesn't matter.
No, I'm just trying to say how that links to the flooding.
I'm saying linking to the flooding. I'm just saying to you, we have this trace of monotheism, of teachings in the belief, the remaining belief of some nations.
Such as
we say North America. We have as well China, 3000 BC. You don't believe?
Monotheism. What is the evidence for that?
I can't give it to you now, but they refer to someone saying you're the only one God, creating to the only one God as the creator, obviously. Or for example, who they called, I can't remember the name, it's maybe Shangli, I don't know. They refer as the creator above the seven heavens. Yeah, they had this belief in China 3000 years BC. Now I would say, if they believe in the seven heavens, like I believe, like the Jew believe, you believe in seven heavens?
Not in the Islamic seven heavens, no.
So you don't believe in the seven heavens?
No.
Okay, that's fine. Anyway, they have this belief. If you go, for example, to some, for example, the Vikings, you see they have the belief in angels, Valkyries, taking souls of the fighters. And they believe in heaven and hell. They have all these beliefs. Obviously, the story behind this is a bit different. But do you believe that? So how do they get this information? Again,
so you have, for example, folklores and whatnot, and there will be some convergence in terms of the stories. But what I'm asking you for, because what you're appealing to is there must have been some sort of revelation and maybe got distorted, or there was that must have come from some sort of revelation. I'm saying no. I'm saying because the evidence shows, for example, we go to the Aztecs and they worship the moon, and we went to China and they worship the moon or the sun god. It doesn't mean there was any central system that taught them that. That was just a natural belief that they looked in the sky. So I'm saying with these sort of things that you're claiming, heaven and hell, it doesn't necessitate that it came from a single source or a prophet. Where does it come from? It's the same way it can develop from folklores, or it can. I can say this.
Valkyries taking your souls.
I can make this claim. I can say Christianity claim was the first, or even Christianity. Let's
I
just
think
say
it doesn't make sense. But anyway,
this is the difference. You're making assertions without any evidence. You're
I'm
saying I'm giving you
listen.
evidence. So I'm saying don't give me assertions. Give me evidence. Don't say it could be from it. Or it must be from a prophet.
No, you talk about crumbles, you talk about sign, you talk about observation. I'm saying to you, all these nations were pagans.
Yes.
And they were pagans afterwards. But by history, we find a trace of monotheism.
Was that via Christianity or Judaism?
No.
Are you saying it's
3000 BC? No.
Okay, 3000 BC.
Before Abraham.
Right. Okay. All right.
I'm saying to you, these trace can be only traced from a prophet as the only God, because we do believe that in this world where there's no guidance from God, there's only the devil, and he leads to paganism. Back in the day, do you believe so? Yeah. All the
paganism and anything else that deviates from the true God.
It doesn't matter. Now, I'm just saying in the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make the statement regarding prophets that has been sent to the other kind, other nations, punctually. Not to every single country, like you said.
No, that's fine.
Listen. That's a statement that has been said, and
that's no problem.
And that's a statement. The same way you're seeing in the Bible, and it says as well in the Quran that Moses split the sea in half.
Right.
Same way we're talking about Abraham. Same way we're talking about Jacob's. If you want to bring some evidence from that, you're going to struggle.
But here's the problem.
What's the problem?
The Bible. When was the Bible written? It was written over a period of time.
Yep.
The Jews are the claims of the witness, right? So that would be evidence. We do not have outside evidence of the Bible, but the claim from the Bible, which was written nearer to the time. So now I'm saying that was a one-off event, right?
Okay.
So I'm saying, if we made the claim, for example, even the floods, there are nations across the world that have flood stories. Their own flood story, saying that the nation was flooded.
Okay.
That would mean that they're writing their own account of what they witnessed. So I'm saying, you're talking about one specific event, the splitting of the sea, Red Sea.
Splitting of the sea. I can talk about the deluge, about the floods. I can speak about Jacob himself.
Here's my thing. The splitting of the Red Sea. Who are the people that could have written a claim about it happening? Who are the only people that could have written about it? The Jews and the Egyptians.
Okay.
Could anyone else have written about it?
About the floods?
The splitting of the Red Sea?
Yeah.
Okay. Who? I'm saying those are the two primary people that could have written about it. So we have claims from the Jews, but let's say we don't have writings from anyone else, and we don't have any historical evidence to support it.
Yeah, okay.
So at least we have the claim from the people.
Okay.
So I'm saying, if the prophets were sent to people, do we have claims from those people that there was a prophet sent to them? I'm saying we don't even need the book. We don't need the empirical evidence. I'm saying, do they even make that claim of themselves, of their own history? Because what's your home country? From France.
I was born in France.
But you're
in Morocco.
Morocco. So I'm sure in Morocco you have your own traditions, historical people that may be folklore. Like famous people, maybe warriors or whatever. So my point is, this is an account from the Moroccan people about their own history. So I'm saying, what we find in these nations, they can't even tell us about the history of their own prophets, who, even if we don't have the book. So if I say to you, give me the name of a famous 12th century Moroccan warrior, you could probably say, oh, there was this person, or a famous king that is passed down. But no one in Morocco can tell me the name of the prophet that was sent 1,000 years ago in their language. Or if I go to China. So I'm saying I don't even need empirical evidence, because I'm saying with the splitting of the sea, at least we have a claim within the text.
Listen, in the same way that you're claiming, you say, I don't see empirical evidence. You have the witness. You don't know what is said is true.
That's not my claim. That's not my claim.
No, hold on. But you have to have empirical evidence outside of it to back up this. You have to have maybe some, following this mindset, empirical evidence on the Red Sea to see that the sea has been split, which many people are claiming.
But what was my original claim? Did I say you need evidence for everything? Or did I say You can have breadcrumbs.
No, you said breadcrumbs,
Right.
but you said for certain things you cannot even get something.
So if the Jews write in the Tanakh that there was a splitting of is that a breadcrumb? Because it's a claim from the people that this event happened. Whether it happened is not my point at the moment.
Okay.
I'm saying it's the claim. So I'm saying
because you do believe that the one over there
right.
witnessed this.
But they made the claim.
But there's something different. The text that you have is claiming it now.
Exactly.
You don't even know if it's getting backward.
No problem. I'm saying even if it was a fantasy story, we have the claim.
Okay.
I'm saying do the people of the nations even make that claim about themselves?
Here, people are making that claim. People are making that claim, yeah?
Which people? The Jews.
The
Jews making the claim about the Red Sea.
The book of the Genesis is making that claim, yeah?
Right.
That's what you say. You don't even care if that's true or not.
Let's strip it down.
And you said you come back here up for something else.
Okay. We don't have empirical.
And we said in the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes some statement, and that says, talking about nation that disappeared or past, that was very on the long past, that we can't even get.
Right.
That we can't. So you can't necessarily find scripture saying a prophet came in our nation.
Right.
No, but that's a claim, and that's it.
But I'm saying the people of the nations can't even make that claim. So you're saying what you're doing is saying, well, the claim is made in the Quran, so therefore it's the same as the Bible making a claim that something happened. No, my claim is the Bible and the people are claiming this is part of their history. So I'm saying if this was part of our, because remember.
Listen.
Let me give you an example.
Listen. That makes everything to the same level.
No.
I think you're just turning around.
Let me tell you why. Because the Jews, for example, claim there was thousands of prophets sent to them. We have the Bible that was named after several of them.
Okay.
So at least we have the claim that there was David, there was Solomon. And this is from the people themselves.
The only
now
thing
I'm saying
is
to
you put faith on it.
No.
Because I swear.
You put blind faith on it. Because I'm saying to you, give me the name of the prophet that was sent to Morocco. Your answer is the Quran makes a claim that a nation was sent a prophet. Therefore, that is evidence that Morocco was sent a prophet in their name. Or whatever nation it is. I'm saying a totally different argument. I'm saying the Jewish people
give me a name.
claim.
That's what you say. Give me a name.
Yes, exactly. I'm saying I can give you names of the prophets that they claim were sent to them. Okay. Can you give me the names of the prophets that the people themselves claim was sent to them? That's when it becomes equal. The Jews are claiming David was a prophet for them. The Jews are claiming Solomon was a prophet for them. I'm saying, give me the name of the prophet that Moroccans said that was sent to them. Give me the name of the prophet that French was sent to them.
Never said that in the Quran that in France or Morocco a prophet was sent.
So what nation?
We're talking about nations globally.
Exactly.
People.
So I'm saying give me one nation that makes that claim.
No names has been given.
So
say prophets has been sent to the nations.
Right.
And that's it.
So the prophets were sent to the nation.
Yes.
And we can't find any nation that actually confirms that.
You're just saying that because it was long before Abraham, and obviously we don't have the record of all the history we have.
Right.
We have remainings of monotheism in different nations. We have the belief in the hell and the heaven, obviously, which refer to the monotheism. And all these teachings converge to the monotheism because this is exactly what we got.
That's confirmation bias.
No. I'm saying no. That's not confirmation bias. I'm saying these teachings we're referring to. We don't have much of the history of all the nation. Maybe 80%.
Yes, but I'm saying I'm saying within what we have left, at least within the balance of probability, will tell us at least one nation. For example, how is it Christians can claim Jesus was crucified, and we can find people outside of the Bible alluding to it, Josephus or so and such? Then you're telling me prophets were sent to every single nation, and we can't even find one place where it alludes to that.
Because I know what you're doing. You're playing with the fact that it was long before Abraham, and because we don't have much historical records from all the nations. I can give you an example.
But
listen.
All right.
If we have the teaching from the monotheism, obviously you can deny it, but we don't have a record of specific names or people recorded of prophet because it was too.
How do you know it was that long ago? How
ago.
do you know? The Quran doesn't even give a timeline.
Okay.
So that's an unsubstantiated claim.
No, say all nations receive a prophet.
Right.
All nations
it doesn't say before the time of Abraham.
It doesn't matter. Okay, we do believe because Abraham. Okay, probably because when Abraham started as a prophet, started being a prophet, and I'm not denying. We may have some other prophet around by the time of Abraham, and I'm just saying after that time.
Right.
Maybe there was some prophet, and you're right.
And
maybe you're right. Maybe it wasn't that case.
Right.
But I'm just saying that all these nations, we don't have much information regarding them and regarding the people that were living among them.
But we still have the nation today. I'll give you another example because you know your Quran. Dhul Qarnayn. The Quran claims he was one of the greatest people that ever lived.
Okay.
Do you know the story of Dhul Qarnayn? Do you know the story? Are you familiar?
I know the story.
Right. So the Quran claims that he went to the east, he went to the west.
Okay.
Ask anyone in the world who is Dhul Qarnayn. No one knows. But apparently kings bowed to him. How can we have the greatest
kings bows to him? That's not in the Quran.
What in the scholarly?
That's not in the Quran, mate. You're lying.
You know, according to the scholars.
No.
According to the scholars. According to your scholars, he was a great man. Let's go and see what Ibn. So if I write Ibn Kathir.
Ibn Kathir.
Shall we see his interpretation?
Listen, is there something clear about this, about him, saying that the kings bow to him?
Okay.
Mate, listen.
Wait.
I'll
simplify it. Wait. I'll make it even simplify. I'll simplify it, and you can't.
I know exactly what you're doing.
Wait.
Let's get to the point.
Let me simplify it. The Quran claims that the Jews asked Muhammad who was Dhul Qarnayn, the man with two horns.
Okay.
That's a statement in the Quran. If I go to the Jews who is Dhul Qarnayn, they don't even know.
Okay.
So how can the Quran make a claim that the Jews
wanted Arabic in the Hijaz? The Jewish story in the Hijaz.
So that history is lost again.
I'm not saying
because all the Jews, remember, are supposed to have the Talmud. They share the same history, so they share the same knowledge. They will claim they share the same.
Yeah.
So,
hold on.
So you're saying
no. I'm saying historical heavens cannot be necessarily the same over all people and shared across all people.
The Jews
I'll give you an example.
Different.
Listen. I'll give you an example. The Septuagint, yeah?
Right.
When you open it, there's lots of books that doesn't exist in your Quran Bible, in the Masoretic text.
But they still exist.
No, but they do not part of them.
Yeah, they're just not agreed as
exactly
inspired by God, but we still have the evidence.
So the Jewish had a disagreement regarding some texts which were revealed by God or not revealed by God.
I don't have a problem with that. I'm saying when I ask a Jew today who is Dhul Qarnayn, they don't know. They should know at least. That's my claim. So they're saying this person was a great person.
It's a Arabic name.
Yeah.
I can't even tell you exactly who to refer because I didn't study.
For example,
it doesn't matter.
Okay, I'll give you one more example. The Quran talks about the Christians believing in the seven sleepers of Ephesus.
Okay.
That is a Christian folklore. I'm a Christian.
Belief of what?
The seven sleepers of Ephesus, when they went in the cave and they slept for several hundred years and woke up again.
Okay.
That is now from Christian. That is taken from a Christian tradition. And if you ask Christians, is that story true? Every Christian will tell you no.
Because it's not part of the Bible.
It doesn't matter. We would know.
It's part of the Bible.
No,
it's not part of the Bible. Who decided who the Bible
was? I would
was?
say go to Ephesus and ask the people there.
Let me just talk as well because I know that you're taking this thing. The reason why, as well, you're mentioning these texts, and I'm saying the only reason why all the Christians are not believing so is because the canon of the Bible has been sealed a long time ago. The early Christians were not around the same text as you are now. Some of them, I will talk about the Ebionites, as a specific gospel. Other Christians has probably the four gospels. All the Christians were accepting certain texts, and it was the same for the Jewish.
Right.
They had some books that they accepted, and they had additional ones.
Right.
And they had some belief or oral transmission that they had back in the day. Now, I'm saying to you, are you sure, or do you have the proof that this has been invented by a man?
Here's the story?
The story, that's what I'm saying. The story that you make in the Quran.
Because
obviously it's coming to the Quran again.
You appeal to the Ebionites. We can look through history and see the claims made about the Ebionites.
Okay, cool.
My point is,
So what's your
the
claim?
Quran makes a claim about the 7 sleepers of Ephesus.
So what's the problem?
We cannot find people
I
that
didn't
affirm...
even read it. I don't even know
Okay.
if that's
story of the
matching.
cave.
I don't even know if it's matching that story.
It's the story of the cave.
I know the story of the
Al-Kahf.
case, but I'm saying I'm not even know. I didn't read that passage or that apocryph.
Right.
Apocryph one.
Right.
But like I said, as the other apocryph that you may find in the Quran, like the story like Jesus forming birds with glaze.
Right.
This, how do you know this is false?
The reason why we know it's false is because we can trace it back to the gospel of, I think, is it Thomas or Barnabas, one of the two. It's apocryphal text, which even
how do you know this is wrong? Or do you know this hasn't been oral tradition compiled?
Because we have the early church father who spoke about heretics. Now, this is the thing. No, but this is the thing.
Mate, that's very low.
No, but this is the thing.
Mate, you're referring to the early church
No, but
father.
listen to what I'm saying. When we date the text, it only goes back to about the 2nd, 3rd century. And the reason why we know a lot of these texts are problematic, if I said to you, for example, if I said to you Muhammad had a BMW, would you believe that's true? No, answer the question. But I'm gonna explain why. But engage with my questions.
No.
No, but no.
I know where you're pointing at.
What is
I know
my
you're
point?
pointing. No, I understand where you're pointing.
What is my point? Wait.
You're taking
Establish my point.
completely two different examples.
But what is my point?
You're taking something completely absurd.
No, but what is my point?
No,
it's not about absurdity.
No.
That's what I'm saying.
That's
you're missing
absurd. You would like the people. I know the people listening. You would like to compare to make the claim that I did and to make it as absurd as saying that the Prophet Muhammad would have a Bentley.
No.
I know what you're doing.
The reason why I'm saying is the reason why Muhammad couldn't have a Bentley or BMW is because it didn't exist at that time. So when they look at these documents, it makes claims that couldn't have been historically possible, which means it must have been written later. That's why we know it's not true.
No. But listen to me. There is lots of these gospels which were oral tradition at that time.
Right.
The same as Luke is claiming, all this oral tradition has been put down. It's not because the book hasn't been written down that you do not find it.
So why would you believe it's true? Because actually,
I would say to you, listen.
Let me respond.
You never let me answer when I'm taking to this, because I know you try to speak, take most of the time.
I'll let you speak.
I'll tell you the reason why, listen. The only reason you believe in your book, and I do believe in my book, is by faith. Because, listen, it's not by faith.
I've given you...
It's not by faith.
Wait.
It's not by faith. So tell me, why do you... Listen, you told me that I believe I'm blind faith. Why do you believe that the Bible is purely the word of God?
Because I believe the Bible, not just by blind faith.
Okay,
what was the whole point of this discussion? Can you substantiate claims that were made in that book? So I said, how do you differentiate between a liar and someone truthful? I said to you, yes, there will have to be an element of faith in believing in the Bible is true.
Okay,
however, if the Bible makes claims that we can substantiate outside of the Bible or historically, it then means it's more verifiable. So it's not just pure blind faith. That's why I asked you, in the historical context of the claims made in the Quran, I gave you the example of the prophets. Give me a name of a prophet that was sent to another nation. You couldn't.
Okay, cool.
But you believe it's true because of blind faith.
Yes.
So I'm saying to you, with the crucifixion, I do not believe it's blind faith because there are things outside of the Bible which also affirm the crucifixion was true. So therefore, it's something that's substantiated.
But we did not say that there was no crucifixion. Again, you're coming back to it, and I keep explaining you 10 times, but you keep coming back to it because you want Jesus to be the one on the cross.
You've just mischaracterized me.
Exactly.
I didn't claim that there was.
I've been honest about yourself.
I didn't say Muslims don't believe that there was a crucifixion. I said, was Jesus on the cross and crucified? Not was someone else on the cross and the crucifixion took place. Was Jesus the one on the cross during the crucifixion? That's my claim.
Okay.
And that's what you don't
how does the historian knows that it was exactly Jesus on the cross while I explained you 10 times that we do believe that this was only that said the Ummah believed that it was only an illusion for his enemy,
Yes.
but in reality they did not.
Where did that claim come from? The Quran. That's the only reason why you
Yeah,
believe blind faith. What is my basis? It is my basis is the Gospels, right? But
Again,
is that
no.
wait? Let me finish because I said mine is based on the Gospels, right?
Okay.
But it's also based on the claim that they were eyewitnesses. So I'm saying if we disagree, do we have any evidence to contradict that they believed otherwise? Your only claim is yes, the Quran, which came 700 years later, because it's from God, it's true.
Okay.
That's your counter evidence.
Okay, cool. So
I'm saying based on historical studies, we have to look at the compilation of the evidence. When was it compiled by? Listen, your point is because we cannot empirically prove it is from eyewitnesses, therefore we can disregard it. My claim was, I said you cannot empirically prove history. However, we can look at all the breadcrumbs that exist.
Yeah, but the breadcrumbs doesn't confirm his exact position. That doesn't make the split difference between us. These are people who were not eyewitness, and you just refer to crucifixion. Well, again, I said to you 11th time that the crucifixion was an illusion, and you're turning around. And no, I said to you, these people around cannot confirm you that it was exactly Jesus, and this was not.
How would they confirm it? Because we're crucifixion public event.
Man, you're asking me a nonsense. I tell you that the people,
Right.
according to the Islamic view, I said to you the vision that was on the cross,
Right.
just to protect Jesus, while
Right.
actually Jesus has been saved.
Right.
And you're telling me that you see crumbles around by historians saying, yeah, but he has been.
But here's the problem, and I'll come back a full circle.
No. Respond to this.
Yes, you're saying,
And once once we respond to
Yes.
this, we close the subject.
yeah, but it will lead on to my final conclusion anyway. You're saying, because we established the Quran contradicts the. We agreed that the Bible.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
But just so they can catch it. Yeah.
It doesn't matter. You don't care. That's fine. That's fine. Speak.
Let me just.
Hey, come on. You're coming for cameras.
No, but because we've been filming for people, it's interesting.
Listen.
Sorry, do you mind just turning the cameras this way?
Listen.
Let me respond. So all I'm saying is, your assertion is we have eyewitnesses that we don't really know are eyewitnesses. So how can we be sure that what they're saying is true? However, the problem is, based on the historical evidence, which even historians would agree, your only disagreement is because we have a Quran which comes 700 years later.
I think
Wait.
You're misleading my comments.
No, because I'm saying
again
to you,
that you don't want to understand. I think it's for the camera.
No.
You're arguing for the camera.
Okay, repeat your statement.
I said to you,
Right.
the fact that there was a crucifixion in place, I said, okay. The fact that he appears being Jesus,
Right.
the Muslim says that God protected Jesus. That's the Islamic view.
Yes.
Okay, cool. From that point, any historian will not be able to contradict this claim.
But this is the problem.
No, okay.
This is
Listen.
you just said what I said was not true. But you've just repeated what I said because I said the claim comes from the Quran.
Okay.
So that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
That's what I said. You have the eyewitness account. 700 years later, you have a claim from a book that comes and says it didn't happen, which you are appealing to. Then you said, no, I didn't say that. Then you said, well, the historians would have to agree if that's what they saw, but if that wasn't what really happened, but the only reason why you believe something was possible is because the Quran makes that claim, that something alternative could have happened. So I'm saying to you, you're then questioning, how do we know this source is reliable? If we're going to go to that basis, then that's why I said your only objection is because the Quran makes that affirmation.
Because we do believe that the Quran is the word of God.
Exactly.
By faith.
That's my point, and that's why I said this is going to come 360 because the Quran was revealed to Muhammad by who?
By God.
No.
That's your belief.
Who brought the revelation to Muhammad? Who recited it to him?
So he was by the Gabriel.
How do you know that
Gabriel.
angel was from God? Because Because
You can listen.
wait,
Listen.
let me-
I think
let me
you don't want to let me
Okay,
talk.
No, I'm just gonna summarize.
You don't want to let me talk, man.
No, I'm just gonna summarize and let you respond. I'm gonna give you all the time.
You don't want to let me talk.
No, no,
All the
I'm
time
gonna-
you're not letting me.
No, I'm gonna let you speak. All I'm gonna say is because when you question the reliability of the Bible and say how do we know?
I know you don't want to.
No, but all I'm saying is we agreed that the objection comes from the Quran.
Okay.
So if the Quran isn't from God, we know it's a contradiction. So you then have to then
Okay.
affirm.
No. So I'm saying to you, in the same way that you're reading the Bible and you're reading the Torah, something which happened in the past, I do believe by reading the Quran that this is the word of God. Okay? I do believe this is the word of God and this is some faith. In many occasions, talking about many subjects, we can, how you say, substantiate, or we can trace back, or we can talk about certain subjects which are, we can understand the context of some subjects. Some of them, like you say, we have to put faith. Exactly like you're putting your faith in many claims that you have in the Old Testament, and you cannot prove it, only for the reason why that you're putting faith on the Old Testament. It is the same faith that we're having for the Quran as being by God. We just put faith on it. What makes you, then I'm going to ask you a question. What makes you faith on the Torah? Or let's say, on the Old Testament.
Okay. This is why we go back 360. I said to you, we have a book that claims to be from God.
Okay.
There has to be an element of faith.
Okay.
However, when we investigate the historical context of the stories that take place, we find there is confirmation outside of the Bible that seems to affirm some of the stories.
Like
not,
what?
For example, that we have the stele with the name of David. So everyone believes that David was a historical person.
Okay.
We don't have.
But how do you know he was a prophet?
Again, listen to what I'm saying.
Okay.
I said we don't have empirical evidence to prove everything. However, the Bible makes Torah, the Tanakh makes claims that David was a prophet, for example.
Okay, and you believe?
Yes. So I'm saying that's why I said there's an element of faith.
Okay.
However, whether I believe the Bible is reliable, we look at outside evidence and look at what claims does the Bible make. And the more evidence we see outside of the Bible that affirms stories within the Bible, maybe not the miraculous stuff, that tells me that this is a historical narrative that seems to affirm or be parallel with history, what we can find. Not in totality, even if it's 20% of the story. So I'm saying even by the time we get to the story of Jesus and the crucifixion, we see that even people outside of the Bible affirm the story of Jesus. So I'm saying, but there's outside. So my question to you...
No. Let me just bounce back on what you said.
Right.
Because you've been talking a lot about the faith. So I said to you the Quran, we believe in the Quran.
Right.
And this is our faith.
Yes.
And how can I say? Now, you said that you can substantiate something on the Torah, but there's a difference between saying there is trace of David. Obviously, you can't relate to Abraham, or you can't relate to, I don't know, whoever, Jacob or Noah.
Yeah.
You can't substantiate, or you can't find elements or proof.
Yeah, we'll wrap up soon anyway.
Anyway, that's
I need
fine.
to go.